That's one of the things where you just got to be patient. But we are a microwave society. Like,
yes.
People want to put it in the microwave, press a minute, and it's hot.
And guess what? This is crock pot work.
Yes. Yes.
It's gonna take all day, right?
This is 8 hour let the meat marinate.
Yes, and then it's gonna be real good. It's gonna fall off the bone, right? So
versus when I put something in the microwave and you put it on there for a minute or two, and it sometimes overcooks it.
Yes.
And then you're like, man, I wish I had done something different. So that's what those get rich quick, those little schemes that people want to do to see quick hit return. Sometimes, slow and steady wins the race.
Welcome. This is For Better and Worth,
the podcast where we don't believe you have to sacrifice your relationship while you grow and build your net worth.
We are your hosts.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Erica Young, and we're so glad you're joining us today.
All right, y'all, let's get into it.
The For Better and Worth podcast is sponsored by American Heritage Credit Union, a not-for-profit credit union that helps you take control of your financial future.
As a member of American Heritage, you're an owner. You'll be charged fewer fees, earn more in the form of dividends on your accounts, and have access to lower rates on loans.
Whether your goal is to save for a down payment on a home, create an emergency fund, or build for the retirement you've always dreamed of, American Heritage has the products, resources, and solutions you need.
After all, American Heritage is for the people, not for profit. So to learn more, go to ahcu.co/for better and worth. Hey babe, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good.
Awesome.
Doing good.
Uh-oh. See, when you're doing good, one of us is gonna dance. When I've eaten well, I start dancing.
Yeah.
And when you...
I got some much needed sleep yesterday.
I can't say that.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, here.
Your whole mood changed.
Honestly, last night was rough. I don't know why I couldn't sleep, but whatever.
Well, I heard the rain. It was raining like super hard last night too.
But we have an exciting topic today. You let me know that one of our little short videos that we put up on Instagram,
people went
semi-viral,
chiming in like crazy. But
yes,
it's all good. I love it.
Yes, I love it too. So it's generating conversation, and it's clearly what folks want to hear, and so we wanted to follow up.
Yes, and we're gonna get to the brass tacks. We're gonna talk about the rule of 72.
Yes.
And some might say, what is the rule of 72? But that is how your investments and money doubles over time, and the amount of time that it would take for your investment to double at said interest rate.
Yes. So part of the challenge in that reel, if you will, that little snippet of the podcast, is that people were saying you can't get 12%. So first of all,
it's out there.
Yes. You can get 12% on mutual funds, on ETFs. You can actually get 12%. And so I think that the misconception is that in my example, I was unrealistic.
Yeah. And it's so funny how we were planning that, and that's not like we were like, oh yeah, 12% is guaranteed. It's like, it's the market. The market fluctuates. Mm-hmm. And over time, you get high returns and sometimes you get low returns. And that's what dollar cost averaging is. It balances out over time. That's why you have to stay in the market and committed.
Yeah.
But I think we were talking before the podcast, and we just went back and looked at like 2025. Mm-hmm. And what did you say the return on?
The average annual rate of return in 2025, which was a higher year for the S&P 500.
Right.
So it
was an exceptional year.
It was, but this was the S&P 500. This is what we typically will track to see if your investments are doing similarly to, the companies that represent.
That's what you'll index to.
And it was almost 16.5% in 2025. People made money in 2025. Okay?
Right.
So be glad I ain't say 16%.
Right. We could have easily said 10%, but I think this warrants just a good conversation. So, make sure you chime into this one, like this one, and what I've come to realize is that some people going to agree, some people going to disagree, but let's just continue the conversation.
Yes. So we want to put some of the doubts to rest this time and give context for some things.
Right.
So in no way, just like you mentioned, were we saying that 12% is actually everything.
You know what? I think before we even get there,
Okay.
we need to state that we are not financial advisors. We don't carry any licenses, but look, what we do have is experience.
And I'm going to share my own personal story with this as well. We'll get to that in a minute. But
we have been long-term investors. And so I just had to, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we had to level set.
Disclaimer.
With the people, just so you know.
And here's the thing. I'm a financial professional, but I'm not an advisor. I'm not a financial planner. And financial planners will typically tell you that you can expect maybe 7 to 8% return on your money. So here's the deal. Here's the kicker. If you're not in the market, you're going to get 0%.
Exactly.
Right? But if you are in the market, you get the benefit of whatever growth and performance that the companies that you're investing in get. And so probably, I will say, it was more realistic about 10, 20 years ago to say 12%, just because in that moment, the market was doing a little bit better than S&P 500 is right now on average. But it's only changed by about 1%.
Yeah,
So
I know we look at our investments, and because we have a diverse portfolio of investments, some perform over 12%, some perform slightly under 12%. But when you take the aggregate of how those funds perform overall, we have been seeing, good rates of return. And when we share Erica's, like we have IRAs, we have 401ks, we have Roths, we have all that. But we're going to share this one specific example, and you'll see that we getting that money, getting that shmoney.
So here's one of the doubts that people have. One of the concerns, fears, or issues that folks have with the market is that it takes too long, right? And so when we're thinking about investing for the long haul, investing to build a nest egg, investing so you actually have a retirement, frankly, it does take time. It does. And we don't like to wait. We are impatient.
Yeah.
And so when when we're thinking about like how our money is going to grow, you have to look at 15, 20, 30 years. You have to, because it really does take that long. And frankly, if you don't look longer term, you're going to get tired and you're going to feel like it is never going to happen. You just have to stick with it.
I think that's the whole point in this, is like you can predict like what your returns could be just using the rule, and you'll know, like if you're starting with 100,000 and you want to see that money double and you figure out 1%, you will be able to know how long it will take to get that. And if you underestimate, say you go a lower percentage, it'll take longer time to get there. But that's okay. I mean, you could be surprised. You get there sooner when the market outperforms that. So that's why I think advisors will say 7 to 8%, because historically, you can expect to get at least 7 to 8% in the market, because there's no 7-year period in the history of the stock return where it hasn't issued a return, positive gain and return. So that's one of the things where you just got to be patient. But we are a microwave society. Like,
yes.
People want to put it in the microwave, press a minute, and it's hot.
And guess what? This is crock pot work.
Yes.
It's gonna take all day, right?
This is 8 hour, let the meat marinate.
Yes, and then it's gonna be real good. It's gonna fall off the bone, right? So
versus when I put something in the microwave and you put it on there for a minute or two, and it sometimes overcooks it.
Yes.
And then you're like, man, I wish I had done something different. So that's what those get rich quick, those little schemes that people want to do to see quick hit return. Sometimes, slow and steady wins the race.
So this is why I don't put French fries in the microwave. because they get
they get
yucky.
soggy.
Okay, they get yucky.
Yeah.
Okay, they are soggy, they're flimsy. I don't like it. If you put it in the air fryer, it takes a little bit more time, but it maintains the crisp.
Look at the cooking analogies.
I got one more for you. I got one more. I didn't tell you the other day while you were out of town. I burnt some broccoli because it was in the oven. I was roasting broccoli.
Oh, man.
It only takes 20 minutes if it's fresh. And the oven stopped at 20 minutes, but I was still doing other stuff for another 10.
Oh, and it was still cooking.
It was still in there
oven.
because it was still hot. And I took these flowerets out and they were no longer green.
Wow.
They were black. So here's the thing too.
Girl, you make me nervous sometimes.
I'm telling you, you need to cook more often. You got to cook more often.
I can't cook if I wasn't here.
No, I'm just, if you cook beforehand, I can have leftovers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you need to retire me from the kitchen because things getting a little out of hand.
Girl, I was about to say, unhand me.
I did good this morning. We had protein pancakes.
Yes.
I took my time.
Yeah,
I took my time. I only made one thing. I made protein pancakes. That's it.
Right.
But here's the deal. I wasn't paying attention. And so at that heat, if you could be going too quickly by just taking too much risk, and at that heat, the broccoli could not survive, right? And I wasn't paying attention. The other thing is, a lot of people, they put money in their 401k or in their other retirement accounts or what have you, and they never look at it. And then you don't know how it's performing. And so you're not aware if something is underperforming or if you should make some changes. You haven't talked to somebody about that.
Yes.
And so don't burn the broccoli.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to pay attention to it and take it out. And I don't necessarily mean take it out of your account, but I do mean if you're paying attention, you can ensure that it grows to what you need it to grow to.
So I'm just going to define the rule of 72 for anybody who's watching who may not know what that rule is. It really is a financial superpower. And I think it's the reason why you can be confident that when you invest your money, that over time it will produce, positive gains and returns. But it's simple. The formula is you take 72 divided by the annual return, whatever you will hope to get. In that example, take 72 divided by 8. I lost my train of thought.
Yes, you divide it by 8.
It will tell you the years that it will take.
So it will take 9 years in that example for it to double, right? So because 72 divided by 8 is 9 years. So
right.
So
and if it was 72 divided by 10, it'd be 7.2 years.
Yep.
And so on and so forth. The higher the return, the shorter the time to get that doubling, because it becomes basically your money will double over that period of time. So, and you may not always get that level of return, but it's good to be able to say, okay, well, at this percent, my money will double in this amount of time. And so that's a good way to look at it and think about it. And I told you the other day, I was just, having some alone me time. And I was thinking about like our portfolio, and I was like, man, if, God willing, I live this many more years, 30 years, I was like, man, our money could double 4 times just at like a standard, every 7 years, because typically it's every 7 years money will double. I was like, okay, that could be all right. So that gives me time to ensure that my kids are doing the right things, which I feel confident that they will. But it's like it just helps me vision.
Yeah, you like to calculate numbers. You enjoy seeing money grow. You enjoy like playing with those kinds of numbers, and
yeah, because it's like I'm letting the market do the hard work, and it allows me to remain patient. And it makes me not want to just pull out. Like even when I see the market go up or down, I might get excited, or I don't get so out of whack when the market goes down, because I'm like, you know what? It's going to rebound. It'll be okay. This is a moment. This is a snapshot. And when I think about it just as a short snapshot, it allows me to just remain patient, because We said it once, we'll say it again, and we'll say it 1,000 more times. Once you pull your money out of the market is when those losses, if the market is down, become final. That's the wrong time to do it. You have to just let it ride.
Yep.
That's the only time I think, I think about those gambling analogies. Let it ride. Because any other time I'm like, nope, I got my money back, I'm out.
Did you used to play craps? Didn't you play didn't you gamble in high school? Like, y'all would.
Whoa.
You have had so many stories, Chris. Come on now.
I know, like pump the brakes though.
Come on
you know
now.
What I'm saying? That's how I used to make my lunch money.
See? I'm not making it up.
Right, I might have played, craps in the school stairwell, but go to school with a few dollars there. Make me a nice little $20 or something.
See?
Buy lunch, have some little money to get some McDonald's on the way home.
Yep. See, I'm not making it up. You didn't want me to tell the people that you had it.
You going back into my deep past.
Your archives.
Shake them up, shake them up,
See?
shake them
See?
up, shake them. Give me that.
See, I know it. With the finger snap.
Yeah. Big Ben.
But the market is not a gamble. It is a risk. It is a risk, however. So the other thing is you don't want to invest money that you can't afford to depart with, right? So one, you don't want to need it later. You don't want to need it now. So I wouldn't advise that you overinvest and then you are feeling stuck in your day-to-day life. But in reality, the easiest way to invest is through your 401k or through a Roth IRA or some of these, simple ways that you can invest. And so I think that over time, you will begin to see that grow and it'll really begin to turn into something. And so no matter where you are right now, you can increase it. But I think the biggest thing that I would tell people to do is to go look and see how their money is performing.
And I think in a real life example, think about you have $10,000, 8% return. That's going to take, like we talked about, 9 years, and that'll become $20,000. And you have to remember, that's not putting any additional money in. Then if you get another 8%, it's going to take 9 years. That'll be $40,000. So that's 18 years, and you went from 10,000 to 40,000, and you didn't put any additional funds into that account. And the goal is that you will continue to invest in accounts, like you said, your 401k. So you put that money in, and then it grows, and you keep putting money in, so that pot gets bigger. So what you're investing continues to double over time, but it's almost like a moving target in a sense because you're adding to it.
So up till now, in our previous podcast where we talked about this, and in this podcast, we've been given just random examples of what the rule of 72 would look like. And so I want to give a real life example of the funds that I rolled from my 401k when I was in corporate America into a traditional IRA outside of that company, and over time, what it has grown to. So when I rolled it over, it was $70,000. So I had spent 7 years at that company, and then I had $70,000 that I could put into a traditional IRA.
And that was money, that was a 401k that you have been investing in over the years.
Yep.
I don't think we weren't maxing out the 401k, but we were just putting in, getting the match. So at the end of those 7 years of working, you had $70K.
Yep. And so I didn't put anything else into that account because a traditional IRA is typically it's just a dump account. It's like anytime that you move from company to company, you can
take
put
your 401k
money into that. But you can't put money in on a routine basis.
Right.
It's just all of the pre-tax dollars from the 401k can go in there. So I only had one of those because I worked in corporate America for 7 years and didn't have another job because I've been self-employed. So in that account, it started with 70. And that was in 2011 when I moved that money over there. And then in 2025, that money, this is 14 years later, mind you, 14 years later. And in 2025, it was $285,000. So $215,000 is how much it grew in 14 years. So if you are thinking about the rule of 72, it basically doubled to 140 and then doubled again to 280. And that was 14 years. And when I look at my rate of return over that time, it's 10%. Like it was 10.5%.
Yeah.
You know, so that rule of 72 works. It really works because if we just say it was 10% for round number sake, it was going to double every 7.2 years. And it doubled in, 14 years, it doubled twice. So that's the example. So I have not put more money into that account, and I now have actually, as of now, I have almost $300,000 in there because 6 months has gone by since that number changed. So that's like
It works.
It works. Like this is real life. This is our dollars, right? And so we are getting a 10.5% return on that money. And I looked at yours, and you've put more into it. So your example is not exactly linear because you've put other times where you've moved from company to company in there, but you are also getting a 10.5% return on average.
Because I did the same thing. I worked for one company. I took my 401k, put it in that traditional. Then I worked for another company and took all my 401k money and dumped it in there. So the number is just bigger because I worked at those companies.
Yeah, longer.
Longer. And and it's just different. So, but the rule still applies.
Yep. So the other thing that I would even say to consider is just make sure that you're asking your plan advisor, or looking at all of the funds that are available to you at work. The biggest thing that people don't tend to do is they don't learn how to look at the performance numbers. And I would say
it's intimidating to people.
I think
it can be intimidating.
It is, but it requires us to go learn.
Yes.
I think that's just the difference. It requires us to go ask a question or what have you. I think we need to get in the habit of knowing that there's nothing wrong with asking questions.
It's exciting to us.
Yeah.
Because we're money nerds.
We are.
And so it's exciting to us to go and dig into all those things and me, I just like to see my money grow. Mm-hmm. So I'm always in there like, oh yeah, okay. Right. So I just like that, because then it just keeps me encouraged and motivated to continue to do what we're doing. And that's how patience and persistence works. When you start to gain knowledge and understanding, it allows you, one, to be patient and not be moved by the market, because then you become persistent by saying, you know what? If I have this IRA, this traditional dump fund, I'm just gonna let that ride. I'm not bothering that. I'm not gonna go and borrow against it. I'm not gonna go and, take a withdrawal and pay the penalties on doing those things, because people do that all the time.
Right.
They can't put money in it, but they certainly can find ways to get money out of it. And that persistence makes me say, nope, I'm not taking money out of it. I'm not taking a loan. I'm not doing any of that. I'm definitely not paying no extra penalties.
Right. Exactly.
Look,
we're not playing these games.
Look, the government already get their money. I ain't giving no extra.
Exactly. So. The thing that I'm encouraged about, if I look at that account, is that give me another 14 years, right? Because I'm not going to touch it. I don't have a need to touch it. But if you give me another 14 years, just for round number's sake, we'll say it's 300,000. It'll double, and it'll get to 600,000, and then
it'll double again.
And that'll be 1.2. I will have started with 70K in 2011, and then
that's 28 years.
28 years. I get that that's a while, but that's $1.2 million.
Right, and that's just that one account that started with 70K. So I'm like, good job. Let's go.
Good job.
Hey. I gotta keep you around. You got that money. But
I think that we get discouraged or, like you said, intimidated. But you can also be encouraged when you say, what's possible in my situation, given my numbers or given what I'm putting into my 401k, or what can I do to change the narrative around my own financial life? I think that's the encouraging part.
Yeah, and I think if people go and take money out, you slow the momentum down.
Yeah.
Because instead of moving forward, now you're moving backward because you've got to recoup whatever it was that you took out. And so it's almost like the clock just starts all over because now you have a new number and it's going to take longer to see that number double.
Yes.
And that's why you have to, I always feel like whatever you're doing, if this is an option, there's always another option.
Sure.
And I know people can say, well, you know, you don't know my situation. You don't know what's going on. I know there's always other options because when you're at the end of the road, people are like thinking of a number of different ways to do things. And so I just think I would encourage people, don't slow your momentum down. You know, don't slow your roll just because, you know, you want to go and do this other thing. And I know emergencies come up, but we talk about that. That's why you build to a point where you have an emergency fund that can address those things in the moment so you're not sacrificing your future when we're saving and we're using this, you know, what they say, the eighth wonder of the world.
That's right. That compound interest is the real deal. And I would even say if you're having a hard time and you're even considering pulling money out of your retirement accounts, the other thing that I would honestly say is just pause it. Pause the contributions to it temporarily.
Yeah.
And see if that helps you to recover whatever it is that you're needing to do in your financial life. And listen, for a very short season is what I would say to do that for, especially if you're getting the match. Like, I want everybody to get their free money.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth because I was going to say, if you're investing, whatever your company matches, because in our scenarios, those traditional IRAs, you can't invest in it. So there's nothing to stop contributing in that regard because you're not contributing. You're just letting it ride. But with your 401k or SEP IRA, specifically the 401k, if you have a match, if you could just drop down to the match so you still get the free money and try and deal with whatever situation comes up, I would say do that.
Right.
And then turn it back on to not only get the match, but maximize what you're doing from your own personal investing perspective.
Right. And here's the thing, 100% return is found when you get the match. That's 100% return on your money. Not even talking about the market. Because you put in $1 and your company puts in $1, that's 100% return. Or even if they're putting in 50 cents on the dollar, that's
50% return.
Come on now. That's free money. So getting free money, I'm always in favor of it. That is the one place where, honestly, we have, from the beginning, disagreed with Dave Ramsey on, because when we needed to get our free money in the very beginning, when we were in debt, we got that free money, okay?
Yeah. Instead of, I mean, we talk about progress over perfection. You know, and we may not have done everything perfectly according to anyone's rules but ours.
Yes.
And sometimes, you know, you got to set your own stage and focus on progress over perfection. And we were focused on that 70K had a lot of free money in it.
Yes.
So it wasn't just all us putting in. That was us putting in plus free money that has now, over the course of time, been able to generate up to $300,000.
Yeah, that's amazing. So
that's an awesome example.
So I want to know, what's your make it worth it, babe? What would you say is a good takeaway?
I think that if you look at the math is really simple. You know, look up the numbers, rule of 72. The math is easy. And that should encourage you to do what I said. Be patient and be persistent. You know, because that will make it worth it for you. In this example, that's our real experience. So the patience and persistence paid off because there were different points in time where we were buying houses, or we might have needed money for whatever reason. We could have said, you know what, we're going to take some money out of this account. We're going to take a hardship withdrawal or whatever, made a decision to get money out of it, however. But that would not have put us in the point and position today to have that account and have the $300,000 in it. Yeah. So my make it worth it is, you know, be patient and be persistent.
Absolutely.
What about you?
You know, I appreciate, honestly, that we were challenged to revisit some things on the reel that kind of went semi-viral. And the reason is because you look at our accounts more than I do.
Yeah.
And it forced me to come do my own analysis of where things were in that moment. And I think that my Make It Worth It is look at your own numbers and do your own analysis. Like base where you are on the real numbers of what you've already done with investing or what have you. And then, you know, just have your real talk with yourself. Like, what can I do more? How can I do more? You know, so I think my hope is that people will take this moment to go pay attention to their real numbers. And that's wherever you have investing dollars, go pay attention and see what your returns are. Because I actually had one client that, again, I'm not an investing advisor, but she had her money invested and she was only getting like 5% return on her money. And I said, you know what? I would challenge.
Look at this.
Like, I really believe you can do better than that. And so she looked at it for herself.
That's barely staying above inflation.
Yeah. So she went and looked at that and had her advisor make some different choices. And so that might be something you need to do in order for you to ensure you're getting, based on your risk tolerance, that you're actually getting more money working for you harder. So that's what I would say.
I think that's a good point too, because we usually have meetings with our advisors and we'll review our investments and we'll look to see if things are performing at the level that they need to. And if they're not, we will typically, you know, swap some funds out and do some things differently. But that requires persistence again to, you know, go and do the due diligence that you need. So I like that. I like that part that you said. So. But this is a good conversation.
Yeah.
You know, keep tuning in, keep watching, and until next time,
we're out.
We're out.
Thank you for spending some of your time with us today.
We appreciate all of your support, so be sure to subscribe, rate, and review us wherever you listen to this podcast.
You can find us on Instagram at For Better and Worth.
And sign up to receive our free guide, The 7 Reasons Your Money Relationship Isn't Working with Your Partner, on ForBetterAndWorth.com.
Until next time, we're out of here.